Sup everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we're going to take a look into my accepted animation portfolio for Algonquin College. First of all, I'm gonna be honest with you, I found out about Algonquin pretty randomly. I was going to apply to Conestoga, but the applications closed before I could. So I started looking for other colleges around Canada, but the tuitions were so high, especially for me because I'm an international student. And somehow I found out about Algonquin. Not only the campus is amazing and they have a huge international community, but also the tuition is pretty affordable compared to other colleges. So I got really excited and began my application right away. The thing is, I was super late. Honestly, I had less than a month to come up with an entire portfolio, mostly handmade. Plus, I had to study and prepare myself for the Duolingo English test so I could prove that I can understand the English language. I had so much to do in such a short period of time, I don't even know how I did it myself, honestly. Also, I want to make sure to tell you something. Please study. If you have any opportunity to go to art classes, to study with someone, please take it. I didn't have any art classes. I've never had any art classes in my entire life. I've learned everything basically watching YouTube videos and experimenting and watching tutorials, but that made things pretty hard for me because I had to learn everything by myself, and that took me a very, very, very long time. Please don't underestimate the power of learning. That is very, very important, and I would definitely have taken art classes if I could. But anyway, that said, let's go straight to the portfolio. First of all, they will ask you for a cover letter telling them something about yourself and why they should accept you in your college. I'm going to show you mine. I don't actually think that's a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway because I didn't know how to do it. We don't really have any classes in Brazil teaching us how to write cover letters because most colleges here don't ask for that. I did a lot of research and tried to find a lot of references of how to write my cover letter, but I couldn't really find any great references. So this is mine. I'm going to show you mine in case you need help just like I did. Yeah, I'm going to hide some things because they are really personal to me and they are part of the reason why the college should accept me, but I don't actually want to talk a lot about them yet. But anyway, here you have a cover letter so you can inspire yourself with. Now going to the actual portfolio. First thing they'll ask you is for human figure drawings. So I had my best friend posing for me and I chose to draw him in a chair. First because I could kind of cheat, so I didn't need to draw the feet. I just needed to make quick drawings. So here you have 2-minute drawings and 5-minute drawings. I don't love the drawings. Everyone I showed them to say they're amazing and that the sketches are really cool and all, but I don't know. I like the poses. I think they're very dynamic, but I don't know. There's something about them. Probably the lack of details, even though they're meant to be quick drawings. Here I had a member of my family posing for me. She was a model once. She would pose for other artists, so she kind of knew what she was doing. But I'm going to hide some things in here because I don't think she would be very comfortable with that. I was lucky I had someone in my family who would pose for me, and I know not everyone has that. So they specify in their site that if you don't have anyone to pose nude, you can just draw people with clothes, but that would actually be harder because drawing tissue is not something everybody knows how to do. I love this chair, by the way. I like this drawing in general, but I don't know, I just like this chair so much. I was so proud of myself. Then we have our self-portrait. I don't really love how it came out, but I think it was pretty close to how I look. So I don't know, I'm satisfied with the results. Then we have hand drawings and feet drawings. I love how this came out. I was so stressed. Honestly, I took days and days to get this done, but I love the results. I love all the little details. I use my own hand as a reference to make all the hand drawings, and I use my sister's feet to make the feet drawings. I try to use a lot of different perspectives, and I would recommend you to do the same. In their PDF about the portfolio, there are examples of how they would like our work to look like, and they have a lot of crazy perspectives. So I was actually kind of scared that I didn't use the necessary with my hands and feet, but they accepted, and I think maybe that's about how detailed my drawings were. Perspective drawings. I hate perspective. I am very bad with backgrounds. I don't usually practice them, so I was really nervous with that. And especially thinking that I would need to make everything handmade, but this time I actually did digital drawings with no shadow at all. The first one, I was trying to make something very modern but also magical. This girl would be like kind of a dragon girl. I love dragons. She isn't actually like really a hero, but she isn't a villain either. She's more like an anti-hero. And this should be like New York, of course, but it could be any other huge city as well. In the second one, I was trying to get at least one interior perspective drawing because I think that would be very important. I don't think they would like to see only outside kind of perspectives. And so I took my time to make this room very full with references. There's a Steven Universe reference there. There's a Brazilian flag. The bee from Adventure Time, Sophie's crown from my own show Ghost Mansion, and many other stuff. So I wanted to give this room a lot of life, like there's a person actually living here, especially with the box and the paper in the floor, so it would look like someone actually just got out of here. The third one, I was trying to make something more like fantasy. So this is a farmer. He lives in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the mountains. I don't know, I just wanted to pass the idea of lonely life, but at the same time, a pretty nice one, because there's a lot of forest and life around him, even though he's pretty far away from the kingdom. All of these are digital, and honestly, I am so happy they were accepted, because it would take me so much longer to finish this if they were handmade, and I didn't have the time. The personal works. I had a lot of works that I'm pretty proud of and that I could just put them in there, especially most of them being digital and one of them being gouache, which is this sea with a lot of purple and pink. I chose very specific drawings. The first one is showing how much I know about concept art and how I can actually work with backgrounds if I need to, and giving life to the characters. You see there's a little dragon and they look kind of dumb and happy looking up to the dragon girl who's holding a map. There are some footprints in the snow going everywhere. She didn't know what she was doing yet. That's a lot of storytelling involved in this drawing. I really like this one. The second one is Sophie, of course, and I really like how the hands came out, how her expressions look, how her clothing look. I just love everything about these drawings. The third one was mostly to show how I can also paint. This was gouache, as I said before, and I wanted to show them how I could just perform many different types of art. The fourth one is just a bunch of drawings of Vivian. This is kind of a character study to show how her emotions would affect her hair, since her hair is basically fire, and how she would feel, how she would react to different situations. And the last one is the cover for my comic. Go check it out, Ghost Mansion on Tapas. I'm going to leave the link in the description. I love this one, especially for the contrast between red from the candle and blue from her powers and her eyes. I love the little eyes in the walls looking at us. It's so amazing. I'm really proud, even though her eye is huge. That still bothers me. Then, finally, we're going to the drawing aptitude test. This stressed me out so fucking much. First of all, they ask us to make a drawing, handmade of course, of one of our original characters doing something in some kind of workplace. So they could be making potions, or they could be studying something, or they could be, I don't know, maybe counting money, whatever you want to do. And they want us to draw them from two different perspectives, but the time is kind of like frozen, nothing changes. Their hair, the background, everything has to look the same. And as I said before, I'm terrible with perspective, so I freaked out about this. This is probably the thing that took me the longest to finish, because I was so scared of it. But anyway, I'm not really proud of this one. I like the first one kind of, but the second part is so terrible. Not only because I couldn't print it very well, it is like fading some parts, but also the perspective is so crazy in here, and I can admit it, I hate this one. This is so bad. But anyway, I wish I could study more, and I wish I had more time to work on this one. So yeah, kids, study before you apply to any college, please. And finally, we have Wendy. For the final part of the drawing aptitude test, they gave us Wendy, which is an original character from Algonquin College, and they asked us to draw her in at least 3 poses of any type of exercise or dancing or something like that, active poses. I chose karate, baseball, and ballet, and this is how it looks. Also, an important thing, they ask you specifically to put them in the right clothing for each sport. So you can't draw her practicing karate just using leggings and a t-shirt, you have to put them in the right uniform. That's something that most people don't know about or just forget, and that could get you in a lot of trouble. Now guys, let's talk about my final thoughts and advice. Number 1, check everything twice or as many times as you need to. They have a PDF with the portfolio requirements in their animation page, and you must be sure not to miss a thing in there. Something that gave me a huge headache was the paper size. They specifically ask for letter paper for the hand-drawn pieces, and I couldn't find that. That's not a very common thing in Brazil. And well, eventually I did find it, but I was already halfway through my portfolio. I decided to make my new drawings in the required paper, but I still uploaded my old ones in A4. And I was so scared I'd be disqualified because of that, but they accepted. I don't really think that's that big of a deal, but I would advise you to have the right paper on hand. Also, try to read very carefully and follow everything they tell you about how many works you should upload. They ask for about 15 works in your portfolio, but they separate them very well. So they want at least 3 perspective drawings. They want 2 pages, one with 5 hand drawings and the other with 5 feet drawings. They don't specify the number of figure drawings they want, but I would recommend around at least 2 of each. So 2 long drawings, 1 hour and half an hour, and 2 quick drawings around 2 or 3 minutes and 5 to 10 minutes. And at the same time that you should be checking everything about your own portfolio, you should also check other people's portfolios, accepted or not. I've watched the only animation portfolio I could find in YouTube, but I also did a lot of research and I found a lot of blogs and other sites showing other people's portfolios, and that helped me a lot, so I could understand if they were doing something like very close to each other's work that was super different to mine. I would be like, okay, I might be doing something wrong. I'm going to try to do something more like how they're doing. And I'm not telling you to copy their work. I'm just telling you to get inspiration and learn how other people did it before you try doing yourself without knowing how the program works and how they select the people they want in their school. Now, going to number 3, that is probably the most important in my opinion, which is join Algonquin communities. I joined Reddit and it was such a miracle. It helped me so much. For example, I was so confused with the perspective drawings, with all the backgrounds. I didn't know if I could make them all digital or if they had to be handmade, and they don't specify that in the PDF. So I went to Reddit and I asked people. I just made a comment asking, hey, does anyone knows if I can make them digital or if it's required to make them with a pencil? And I got answers telling me like, no, it's totally okay. I sent them both digital and handmade and it was totally fine. That helped me a lot to continue my portfolio calmly, and that was super important in this kind of situation. Also, even now, I had so many questions. I'm always asking stuff in the Reddit, and people answers are so quick. It's amazing actually. Recently, I've even asked a question about dorms, about residents, asking when the new applications for 2024 winter would open and if anyone knew. And someone who applies like last year told me that in their case it opened in October, and it helped me a lot to prepare myself to know if I would have to search for a room for rent or something like that, or if I could actually try to apply to dorms. So yeah, joining any servers or any social media from Algonquin is super important, especially if you're an international student and you don't know shit about Ottawa or how the campus works and all. That would help you a lot. Always ask for feedback from your friends, from your family, for even in a Reddit or any other social media if you want any advice on your portfolio. I didn't post anything online, but I have friends who also like to draw and want to take a career into the animation or design or game making industry, and I always show them my works to know what they thought about it. If they thought something could be better, if they thought it was good enough, or what they would like to change, what they think it would be better for me. I was always asking for people's opinion. My manager, even in my job, she doesn't know anything about art, but like she would see all my drawings every time I finished them, and she would tell me genuinely, I don't like this, I don't like that, this is super good, this is amazing. And of course, I would also ask for other people to check it out, people who understood about art, but her super honest reactions would also pretty great. And she was super sweet, don't get me wrong, but it was also like something that I needed to hear, you know? When I did something in a lazy way, I wasn't actually into that drawing, but I had to do it. She would look at it and be like, no, you can do better than that. So seek feedback. Next one, don't be shy. When I was writing my cover letter, I thought about putting my animation channel in there, but I was kind of scared. I didn't really want to show them, but I thought, well, I have a lot of kind of animatics and some small animations in between in my channel, and I am applying to be an animation student, so that would be super important. I didn't know how to put any animations in the actual portfolio, so in my email I said like, PS, I have a small YouTube channel, if you want to check it out, this is the name and all. I don't know if they actually did check it, but it would do good for you if you have a small YouTube channel or an Instagram account or something where you post animations and other drawings that you don't really want to show people because you're shy. Stop being shy. Show them, because they honestly they won't care much about what you're doing, you know. If it's great, they will accept you. They will be like, okay, this person is even better than we thought she was. So don't lose opportunities because you're shy or because you're scared of rejection, because like you don't even know if you're going to be accepted or not. So you should put all your effort and all your cards on the table. If you have more stuff to show, then try it. Like the worst they could do is not looking at it. And finally, this is actually an advice for every international student. Try to get in touch with the international service from Algonquin. I had some questions and I didn't really know what to do. I was kind of shy trying to talk to the staff or someone who could help me. But I was like, okay, if I don't ask my questions, I won't even be able to apply. So I just did it and I found out that they have like people responsible for very specific parts of the world. There's one guy, he's Brazilian, and he's responsible for the Brazilian department. He helped me so much. Honestly, I don't even know how he could stand me because I would ask him everything and he was so sweet. He was the sweetest guy ever. He even talked to me in Portuguese. We were talking by emails. He would tell me everything, he would help me with a lot of stuff. So if you're lost, if you don't really know what you're doing, if you don't have any friends or family in Canada and you need help, try to search for international department and specifically for someone who is responsible for your area. Like, is it South America, is it Asia, is it, I don't know, Europe, or even more specifics like India. Some of them are responsible for an entire country, for example. So try to talk to these people because that could save your life just like it did mine. And that's it for today's video. Please leave a like and subscribe if you're not part of our crew yet. Hope to see you again, and feel free to ask me any questions you have in the comments. I'll try to answer everyone and help you if I can. Bye bye!